Today I am sharing with you guys my recipe for making another Puerto Rican classic side dish, and that is yuca and escabeche. So let's go ahead and get started. Now the very first thing we're gonna do here is cook our yuca. We're gonna begin by boiling some water in a deep pot with 1 teaspoon of salt just to give our yuca some flavor. Yuca is simply a cassava root. This can be bought frozen or fresh depending where you live. I'm going to be using a 1.5 pound bag. If you would like to make a larger quantity of yuca, that's perfectly fine. Simply just double the amount of ingredients that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. When it comes to yuca, you want to cook it for about 20 minutes or until it's fork tender. You can run your fork through it like this. You're going to notice that it becomes a little bit translucent, and that is what you want. Different people like different textures and consistency. Some people cook them longer than others. I personally like them to still have a little bit of texture to it because when I'm mixing the salad, I don't want it to everything just become mush. So very similar to potatoes. For this, we want them to hold their consistency. So as long as they're fork tender, they're perfectly fine. Now moving on to my favorite part of the dish is making the escabeche. Escabeche, simply put, is just a way of pickling vegetables. So in this case, we use olive oil and vinegar to pickle our vegetables. I am going to be using about a little bit under half of a red onion, about 1/3 of a red pepper, 1/3 of a green pepper, and 1/3 of a yellow pepper. Now I'm simply going to slice these vertically first and then horizontally. Now that we have our beautiful and colorful vegetables all nicely sliced, we are going to head on to the stove. We're going to take about a medium-sized saucepan. I'm going to turn on the burner to a low or medium low depending on your stove. And we're gonna go ahead and add 1/2 cup of olive oil. And we're just gonna let that oil heat up for a tiny bit. We're not gonna let the oil get too hot. I'm then adding in all of our vegetables and mixing them all in so that they get evenly coated with that olive oil. To that, I'm adding 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 3 minced garlic cloves, 2 to 3 bay leaves, and 1/3 cup of vinegar. We're gonna give everything one final mix, and then we're going to put the lid on our saucepan. So my escabeche has been cooking for about 5 minutes on medium low, and oh my goodness, the smell is so delicious. I love making escabeche because it's so aromatic. Just absolutely love it. So I'm just gonna give everything a little mix like this. Just make sure that everything is getting nice and soaked in that vinegar and that olive oil. Yum. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and cover it up for an additional 5 more minutes. All right, friends, so our escabeche has been cooking now for a combined time of 10 minutes now at low or medium low, and it looks absolutely perfect. Now it's time to combine all this goodness together. All right, now when it comes to yuca, there is a little stem in the middle that we want to remove. I like to remove this because I don't like to find this when I'm eating my salad. I don't like to pick it out of my mouth as I'm eating it. So I just like to go ahead and pre-pick these out. They come out rather simple, just with a knife or a fork. You can just pick through and pull it out from the center. Now when it comes to this, different people like their yuca in different sizes. Some people like to leave them nice and big. I like to come with my fork and just slice them just a little bit, just dice them around, just so they're into smaller pieces. I find that so much easier to enjoy when I'm serving it on the side. I find that easier for my kiddos when they're eating it, just to have it in between. And I feel also that the escabeche makes it through and penetrates through so much better when I cut it like this instead of leaving it into the big pieces. Okay, so now that my yuca is all diced up, I'm going to go ahead and add my escabeche in. I love using a spatula to mix everything in just because it just makes it so much easier and things don't just fall apart. I'm going to just dump everything from my little saucepan. At this point, if you want to go ahead and remove your bay leaves, you're absolutely welcome to do that. I'm gonna go ahead and remove those to the side. I believe I had like 3 in here. So, because they're just there for flavoring. But look how beautiful these colors are. I just absolutely love this. So I'm going to take my yuca, incorporate it from the bottom up, just try to mix everything together carefully like this. This is one of those salads that I have to say my kids absolutely love. They love the yuca root in general. They eat it all by itself with just oil and salt. My kids can just, like, they will prefer yuca over potatoes. Now that everything is mixed together, you can go ahead and give it a taste and adjust for salt if necessary. But I'm simply going to take this and refrigerate it. I feel like the more it sits in the refrigerator, the more it will soak up those yummy flavors. So I recommend you leave it in the refrigerator from the day ahead to the next day, or at least I would say about 6 hours. This yuca and escabeche pairs perfectly with Puerto Rican yellow rice. If you would like to see my recipe on how to make it, go ahead and check out this next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!